In any economy, there's two factors. There's the supply and demand. Supply is the amount of any goods or services, how many cars are built, how much wheat there is, how many houses there are for sale. And demand would be driven by people looking to buy things. And in real estate, that's really driven by interest rates. So let's take a look first on the demand side with interest rates. And we'll see that rates this week statistically went below 7%, 6.99. You know, it's funny. When it goes above 7, you get big headlines. When it goes below, you don't get the same impact. And the reality is it's not that big a deal. As you can see, rates have been in the range of 7%, as high as 8, as low as 6.5 over the last year and a half or so. So we're in a range that's continuing good for interest rates, going to continue to provide good demand, more demand for houses than there are houses available, and that's the key factor. So real estate interest rates are clearly not a problem at this point. The other factor is inventory. You can't have a dramatic drop in the value of property unless there's more houses for sale than there are buyers. Well, are there? Well, no. Here we are. We can look at this year's inventory. It's actually going down a bit week over week. That's not what they're reporting. They're reporting that's higher than last year, which is true. Still well below any other pre-pandemic era. The only years that it's higher than are the pandemic years and the first post-pandemic year. So the economy still hasn't worked out the housing situation. It's still way less inventory than standards. And you would say, how can we have less houses for sale now than we did, say, 6 years ago? We have more population. We have millions of immigrants, as well as people who've been born and such. And so that's where the core is. The economy of housing will be tight as long as there are not more houses than people wanting to buy them. So that's the key factors of where we are in the interest rate market. Now, real estate is a very localized business. So I'm in Los Angeles, California. We want to take a look at our local market. I use Altos Research as a great resource for that. And they run the market and the main statistics every week and assign a numerical value. And this week it's at 41. And it's been the range of 41, 42, which is a seller's market. Not as strong as it was previously at 42 and 43, but it's been over 40 consistently for the last couple of years. And so what this means is there's less housing than people who want to buy it. Well, anybody in the market will tell you that any given price, houses are going to sell at the same price as they were previously or a little bit more. There's plenty of activity to buy houses under those conditions. And so that's where we are in the real estate market today in terms of the actual numbers and the data. Now, will the news give us an accurate reflection? No. Interesting factoid this week, I will say, Fast Company, which is really a rag of a magazine, but online they had a great article, which I think, again, is a reminder of an important statistic. The statistic being that over 38% of homeowners have no mortgage. You may have seen a lot of news about sellers can't move because they're locked in with low rates. Sellers are refinanced at 3% and 4%. Don't want to go out and buy a house when rates are at 7% or 6.99. But almost 40% of homeowners have no mortgage. Well, and so obviously the factor of being held is limited in their cases. Now I do want to say, if you happen to have a low mortgage, there's a way you can monetize that by selling your house in a way that benefits you and or convert it to a rental property if it's appropriate. Love talking about that. So you're not saddled because you have a low rate. You have a low rate to the market. If it makes sense to move, it makes sense to move. Let's find the best strategy for you to do that. And I can talk about different strategies to monetize your low rate. But this contradicts the issue head on, where almost 40%, almost 4 in 10 home sellers have no mortgage. So certainly we know they're not hamstrung because of the mortgages and kept to their house.